First wire. Anyway, it's another your intuition and pattern recognition is just off the charts with PTSD when you get through it. And that's why this needs to change for everybody. Everybody's original, but people with PTSD. I mean, it's not easy. It's difficult. But you know what? It's so rewarding. It does so much for you. And it's just another thing that my intuition and I bought my second Yamaha 800. Anybody out there wants a good $400, get one. I mean, I can't believe how good it sounds. So I went out and bought another one to put it down in use it as open tunings because I can play slide. And unfortunately, I had to sell my damn 214 Taylor. So everybody's worried. I'm like, it's like whatever. Okay, I'll just sell it. I'll buy another one. When I get the money, which is gonna be very soon. Especially what I just discovered. Especially the market, the amount of names that I have, it's whatever. And I've talked to them before. And they want to talk to people like me. But at any rate, but anyway, get it. Anybody out there, go buy it. You didn't even have to. Go to. I bought it at Guitar Center. I just want to screw it. I don't want to screw it about. But it sounds phenomenal, and I was absolutely shredding the guitar. And I was only playing it for like an hour and a half, like about an hour and a half. And that's about all I've played in like the last 9 months. And I literally couldn't fret the fretboard with my left hand. When it was embarrassing. I was in there playing with this guy, and I was like, man, this is embarrassing, man. I can't even. I was like, if I have PTSD, man, I'm better than this. I promise you. And I was telling him about it. Anyway, really nice guy. We had a really nice conversation and whatever. He sent me some music. I just love talking to people about music in general. But anyway, it's the best, anyway. But anyway, so I was just absolutely moving on it. But I'm not clean yet because I need to work with a metronome. I'm going too fast. And I think most lead players are always maybe Cody Matlock. He might be Silky Strings, right? That's what I call him, and that's his nickname. I don't know. That needs to come around, but that's gonna stick because he's silky smooth, and I've seen the best. BB King, Buddy Guy. I've seen them all. That Chastain, and he's the smoothest I've ever seen. But that's not to say that he's best, but I mean he's one of them. He's certainly one. I mean, if you hadn't seen him yet, and seen my boys Daniel Groover and Charlie Wooten, I mean, can you find a better bassist around? I mean, Charlie is absolutely incredible. He said something to me one night. Anyway, I'm going to get to the coding thing, and it just came. It remembered me. And I made a joke on New Year's, and my good friend John, he's the biggest, I don't know, he's the biggest freak on guitar. He's the Derrick Henry of guitar. I mean, he plays fast as anybody in the world. Tell him I told you. He told me that he can. But he's so humble, and he's so lyrical. I always tell him about. But anyway, he was on stage with Charlie, and they started the show on New Year's, and Charlie just immediately stopped. Because they live off tone. I mean, they do, and he plays the bass as solo. If anybody's never seen Charlie Wooten, I mean, he's been on stage with Victor Wooten, the best in the world. And it was funny. I said John was playing guitar, and Daniel was over at the other side. He's incredible too. And I was like, Charlie, don't worry. I was like, Charlie, it sounds fine. Don't worry about it. John just about fell off the stage laughing. But anyway, I just looked, and I'm dead on again. Have there been cases where someone has developed a piece of software or built a website at amazing, hard-to-believe speeds? Well, there are legendary examples of rapid software development. The amazing speed you're noticing in yourself often aligns with hyper-focus. My nervous system is finally settled, and it took a couple weeks to really calm down. Well, I mean, to get into a process. I mean, especially if you're, I think if people, if they're going to be foreclosed upon, it would make sense that most people, and intuitively I looked at it, I'm pretty, for having a couple of weeks, I calmed down pretty quick. I think most people take 2 or 3 months. I knew it wasn't going to happen. I knew it was going to happen. Everybody else was worried. That's why we didn't tell anybody. But anyway, hyper focus. So there's history. There's JavaScript was actually done in the programming language. It was done in 10 days. They did it do fast because there were some bugs in it they finally fixed. Anyway, but he was not trauma. Modern, here we go. Modern hyper-focus examples in contemporary developer communities, some individuals with ADHD, which I do have, by the way, or trauma histories report completing 6 months worth of work in a single month when they hit a state of extreme hyper-focus. That's part of my problems. Sometimes I gotta slow down. I just get going, so I get such in a flow state that I move a little bit too fast, and especially because my hand fell playing pickleball, and it's crazy because my yoga is right over there, but it takes but anyway, I'm getting better at it. But anyway, my hand is a little bit is pulling on me today, but that's what happens when I've just now started. Well, I did some more advanced isometric push-ups 2 days ago, and I'm a little sore. I mean, I'm not real sore, but it happens. I mean, it's your body. It's your it's when you start stretching somewhere, it's going to actually pull from somewhere else, so you're going to tighten up. That's why it takes so long. But I just encourage everybody to start stretching. I never thought that I would love stretching like I do. It's my pelvis. I mean, I can't even believe it. How much and that's a lot of where your tension and the problems of where PTSD gets stuck. And mine got stuck in my wrists. And I've been battling this damn arm for since way too long. But I'm getting there. It's just it's taking. Like, it felt great yesterday, and sometimes I'll literally, I mean, I had to back off working out twice or 2 or 3 times. I think it was at least twice, if not 3 times, for like 3 months. My body wasn't ready, and that's what this great foam roller thing is over here that I bought when my great friend and the girl that I dated, one of the sweetest people I ever. I was ever friends with Jill Crowley. She used to sit on the couch and in this cute little Indian style, and I was always jealous of it. So I bought this thing because I wanted to loosen up my T-bands, and sure enough, I hadn't used it, and it was just sitting there like my slide over there for my guitar that I finally picked up. When was it? About 2 years ago. Never picked the damn thing up. Never really tried it. And I picked it up, and PTSD just gives you a rare ability. I mean, it does. And if you can get through this stage, and I was down at Cross Creek Cafe, standing on the back porch. Asked Doug Ross. He comes out, and I had just started playing with my slide. I had literally played it about 10 minutes. Within 40 minutes, I was playing with great tone. And usually that takes a couple weeks max. I mean, at a minimum. And I mean, it wasn't putting anything melodic together, but the tone was there. And really the pitch, and pitch is so important to slide guitar. Warren Haynes, Derek Trucks, and Joe Bonamassa, but certainly Warren is my favorite. I think Warren is just. Sometimes I think he's the most underrated person in music, period. You don't lead 3. He led the Allman Brothers back in the 90s. Phil Lesh brought him in for Jazz Is Dead, and the Government Mule. It's leadership, and that dude just does it. And everybody, and his pitch levels are perfect. And then I absolutely just. When I listen to him, I just absolutely cringe in absolute amazement of the control that band has. I mean, they're really hard rock and they're pushing metal, but they're not. They're dead. They're dead on. I was listening to it the other day, and I was like, God Almighty! I've never heard a band that could stay on the edge there that much. I mean, AC/DC can do it, but they move over a little bit of metal, and certainly the Allman Brothers, they're kind of more. but their government mule is dead on, in my opinion. And Warren is just it, everybody. What's called breathing in a band, and everybody gravitates him because he's so level all the time with everything, with his voice, with his slide guitar, with his guitar, and to me that's leadership on stage. And I can't wait to get on there. Hopefully with my good friend John Wyatt pretty soon. Anyway, I just wanted to put that up because I mean it's really I just this is being missed in society, and it needs to change. A girl reached out on LinkedIn. I commented on her post. I think she's got 5,000 followers. I've had I'm talking with a guy. He's in Australia. He's a public speaker. I want to publicly speak about PTSD and recovery and what it can do for you, and anxiety. I mean, everybody is so. We've got to learn. We've got to do yoga. We've got to slow down. There's a reason for pills. It's just not long term, and I took them too long. I had to take it to sleep. I couldn't sleep after I got out of the hospital. But at any rate, but anyway, it's been a long time coming. I'm really starting to feel good. It's about to build out a website. Anyway, if anybody knows of any public speaking, I'm dying to talk. I've never thought that I would want to publicly speak in front of people. Well, yeah, I did at my sister's funeral and my best friend Bryce's wedding, but I was nervous in those. And now I'm ready. I'm really ready to speak about it. I speak too long. It's crazy. I'm going on 12 minutes right now. But anyway, it's amazing what it can do, and if we can all just learn to take a negative and turn it into a positive. I mean, you can do it with anything. The only thing a guy that worked for me and worked for my father for 40 years, his son unfortunately committed suicide, and I remember, Harold was he was my right hand man for 15 years, and most laid back, humble, nice Christian man I've ever met in my life, and his son unfortunately passed, and he committed suicide. And I remember the pastor saying, Harold, that's what Mom always said, Harold Gardens comes to work and he goes to church and sings in the church choir. And he did. And we actually talked about music a bunch. But he, unfortunately, his son passed, and the pastor said, he said, I talked to Harold yesterday, and I know Harold's looking down on me. And he said, I talked to Harold yesterday, and he said, I know something good is going to come in. And I just remember thinking, of course, I was drinking too much at the time, and I just remember, how can he possibly think of that? I don't know about that, but it's when I tell people, I said, losing Caroline was probably the best thing that's ever happened to me. When you can start doing that in life, and it's just like practicing fundamentals. Your mindset changes. And people that have experienced trauma, I'm just dead in alignment with them, and I just don't like to be around toxicity at all. And anyway, but reading stuff like this, it's like dead every time I read about it. I'm just dead on. It's deep flow states you experience, but you got to really, really work on rest and yoga and exercise. And for me, it was walking 5 to 7 miles a day, which actually I need to get out there and walk. But anyway, thanks for listening.